Hey everybody, it's Mark Ruggiero here, Clark Commando 1983, and we're going to continue with our replay for GMT's unconditional surrender. We're going to do the April turn. I think I'm going to just kind of go for it this turn unless the weather's really bad in the moderate zone. We want it to be fair, which is pretty unlikely, but never know, it could get lucky, but we might just go ahead with it in poor weather. Why? Because I'm starting to get shiny object syndrome and wanting to move on. So I've done quite a bit of videos on this game, and well, with my shortened time with cancer and stuff, gotta make some calls. So that being said, I'm gonna at least do this video, maybe one more. And then I'm going to move on to whatever the next game will be. Haven't decided yet. If you looked at my trip down memory lane, I may do a couple of short ones on squad leader. This could be kind of fun. But I sure have a lot of different ones to do. So, that being said, let's get on with it. So the first thing we're going to do is roll weather. And we're going to be, like I said, we're in April of 1940. So we're going to, hopefully I won't block the camera, but off camera here, we're going to advance the turn marker to April 1940. And the first thing that happens is the Axis player rolls weather. So we're going to bust out the weather chart. Like I've said, every video so far using the updated rules off of the GMT website. And the charts that I'm using are dated 1/31/2024, and these are available on Board Game Geek. So let's see what we can get done here. So it's April. March weather was, so the cold zone, it was poor, and severe. So March weather was poor. So in the cold zone, well, it looks like 1 through 3, so poor again in the cold zone. And let's make sure I got it marked correctly on the chart. I do. Okay. In the mild zone, it was poor last turn, so on a 1 we get clear. And we get 6. That's not good. Well, this might be a quick turn because 6 means it goes to severe in the mild zone, and we're definitely not going to invade Norway with that. And then in the warm zone, get a 5. And the weather was severe last time, so that cuts down to poor weather. But the warm zone really doesn't matter because we're not, as the Germans, going to really do much. So actually, this is going to be a really quick turn. So I just may do May. This maybe will be my last video for this game. We'll see. All right, so no declarations of war. That really stinks because it's going to delay things a little bit with the bad weather, but oh well. Economic phase, I've covered that a few times. Pretty simple. Take the factories, multiply it times the multiple, which the major powers all have 2, gives you your total production points. Still no strategic warfare because there's no factory loss markers placed yet. Strategic movement, nothing to do. Everybody's the phony war, right? So, all right, operations phase. Well, we got nothing to do, so we're going to just skip that all the way around. There's really not anything that needs to be done. Did I forget? I did. I'll have to make sure I do that in the replacement phase. We cover that thing. So, a replacement phase. All right, so we'll spend 3 production points for Russia, which you can get rid of 2 sorties. That gets rid of 1. There's only 1 there. The Axis go first, but all their air and everything, I believe, is in place and ready to go. Oh, no, this guy's not. So you've been forgetting that. All right, so we'll spend... Yeah, we could have done that last turn. We're going to cheat a little bit. So 3 last turn and 3 this turn. So I must have forgot about that. Unless I mobilized it. Maybe I did mobilize it last time. So we'll spend the 3 this turn. Since I forgot. Gets rid of 2 sorties. It means it still has 2 sorties on. No, you know what? We're going to cheat. Sorry, guys. I'm pretty sure. Let me check when I could have mobilized that. When did that fighter come on? I'm going to double check the scenario. So, let's look. In the playbook, the rule book, playbook, and the scenario that we are playing is the main event. Yeah, we're going to look. That German fighter came on in January of 40. So I could have mobilized it in February. You know, he came on with 4. So yeah, I forgot that a couple of times. So it's good. It's good. You know, it's called a mulligan, right? All right. So the only thing we got to do, we got no mobilization. Nobody's got anything to mobilize. So diplomacy. So Germans will spend their 5. Let's remind ourselves what's in here again. We got 1 political failure, 2 no events, 2 political success. And then, so we got 3 out of 6, 9, 10, 11. So we're going to do a draw out of the cup. Why? Because, I don't know, why not? Let's see what I draw here. My main reasoning for wanting to do a draw is I'm hoping I actually draw like a Western Allied shit or something. And if I get something good for myself, then we'll deal with it. And we get a pro-axis. I got lucky. So pro-axis is a success. So once again, if you remember, when you get a success, I can place a pro-axis. Let's just look at the rule, right? It's very simple to do. Event markers, 14. And let's see here, political success. Where is it? It's the same thing, political success. Blah, blah, blah. Select a neutral country that has a pro-faction or strict neutrality marker, and it shares a land border with an active friendly country. Put a pro-friendly, pro-faction marker in its capital. So we've already got one in Italy. Now Hungary's active, so is Germany, so I could place one in Yugoslavia. I could get Romania to join the Axis. which I think I'm going to go ahead and do that because I want to go ahead and do that. So we're going to do setup for Romania. So production, now on the back of the marker, it has 2, and there is 2 factories for now. So they're going to get 2 production points. And their will is a 6. Now one of these has errata, I think. So let's look at rule 16. That tells you where stuff starts at. Page 46 in the updated rule book. Romania has a will of 6. Okay, so we're good. Okay, so the will marker is going to go in the 6. And, oh, this pro-axis marker will go away because basically what happened was I placed the one I drew in there. Excuse me. And this will marker goes here. We're going to set up. We'll do the half strength army in Bucharest. And I actually don't, without looking it up, if I draw Bessarabia with area seized, I think Romania just has to give it up anyways. I don't think there's like a whole thing where, oh, they're aligned. I'll have to look that up. So we're going to place both Romanian armies. This might be a little bit dangerous, but we're going to place them on the Yugoslavian border. Kind of help put some pressure there. Now, I'll have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure they get this seized. It's like part of the treaty with, Germany, so we're going to get that anyways. All right, so now we go to the Western Allies. What do they want to do? They got 2 markers and a political success, so they're going to draw and hope that they can get something. And they get a pro-Western marker. So good, that's good. Good for them. So let's see. So they can do something that's up to 1 C zone away because they're the Western Allies. So let's see here. 14. 14. Political success. It's basically the same thing since they drew it. So the shares a C zone with an active friendly. They get to place a pro-faction marker. Okay, so my choices at this point is, and there are none, it would be 1, I can place pro-Western marker that I drew. I can place it if it shares up to 1, shares a C zone with an active country. So I could place it in Spain. Ooh, that might be the best bang for the buck, because that's going to really make Germany nervous. I could place it, take away the one in Italy, which that could be an interesting choice. I think we're going to take the jump and put it in Spain. So that is now leaning pro-Western allied, which is interesting. Could be dangerous. It's going to make Germany hope that they draw something to get rid of that. All right. And now we're going to draw for Russia. And they get a no event. Okay, so I got lots of no event markers drawn out. So we're going to jump right into victory check phase, end of turn phase. We're going to jump right into May of 1940. Now this will be interesting because these weather rolls are going to be important. Things are going to start to get a little hot and heavy. But because I want to move on, we're going to make this a little bit extra long video. In May 1940, let's see, we're 15 minutes in. So May 1940. All right, well, let's roll the weather. So we're in May. So cold zone. 1 or 2, it's clear. 3 through 6, it's poor. So poor weather again in the cold zone. That's okay. And 1 through 4 in the mild zone, we get a 1. So it's now clear or fair in the mild zone. In the warm zone, we get a 1. And yeah, that's what I thought. So fair weather everywhere. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting now, huh? So it's May of 1940. And we got clear weather. So declarations of war. Well, we're going to declare war. You want to make it exciting for you. I don't actually have a clue if this is a good idea or not, but we're going to declare war on Denmark and Norway. And I think we're going to hold off on the Netherlands and Belgium just yet, because we don't want to get that lifted, what's it called, crisis in the West or whatever. We want to wait at least 1 turn. So when we declare war, we get to set up, let's see here. So Denmark is probably be pretty short-lived. Place an army here. See if you can see that. Yeah. And their willpower is going to be a 2. Now we'll go on the Western Allied willpower. And the production is a big 1 for Denmark. And then Norway, let me stand on my unbalanced canceretic feet. I'm going to put 1 army in. Remember, no stacking. So Oslo. And then let's put the other army. Probably not that it matters a whole lot. I don't think. We're going to go adjacent to Oslo. Not saying that's ideal. Let's see. Production. We're going to have 1 production point and a national will of 3. Alright, that goes there. And the production marker goes on the 1. What did I do? Oh, I got that in the wrong spot, don't I? Yep. There we go. Alright. Get that set up. Economic phase. So we're still set from last turn because, yeah, I did spend it, but I didn't mark it. Now strategic warfare. So operations phase. All right, well, we need certain things to go well, don't we? Let's see here, 1, 2, well, let's see if I screwed this up. So Germany's going to spend 1 production point. And did I screw it up? I did, didn't I? 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? We're going to start this guy. We're going to cheat a little bit. Oh, wait, I got him in a port. So, no, but he'll be there. I got to cheat a little bit. Sorry. Actually, let's do this. It's called the mulligan, okay? There we go. I want more important that we learn how to play here. So this still may not work out. So we're going to activate the 10th Army here. So they get 8 movement points. And if you remember, everybody has 10 except for leg armies. And oh, actually, we'll start here, actually. Yeah, sorry, that's the border. He has to stay in port for eventually when I do the invasion. So, here's this guy is going to go 1. It leaves him 7 movement points. We do a mobile attack here, so that's 2 for the clear terrain. And then 3 movement points spent to do the mobile attack. And then the combat sequence, if you remember from watching Poland or the other videos, is we're going to bust out CRT here. And there is a sequence for combat. And we're going to go through that just so you can, where is it? Combat resolution sequence. So I'm going to walk through this step by step. So for ground combat, if it's a mobile attack, this is step 1. The attacking unit is the primary attacker. Not an assault, so we don't have to worry about that. Each side would pick a will commit or will not commit marker to secretly decide if it commits any of its stuff. So Denmark doesn't have an air force or anything. So both sides are going to commit. And the reason I say they don't have an air force or armor, you get to use one of these ground support markers for the Western Allies. So we'll commit that. And we'll just put it up here to note it. Just let me zoom in a little bit on the action so you can see a little better what's going on. And the Germans will commit their air. So that's a sortie. I'm going to mark that bad boy with a sortie. You don't actually have to move the counter. Just mark it with a sortie. It's within 5 hexes. So we can do the ground support, okay? And then go back to the Allies. I don't really have anything else they can commit. And then we're going to go to the ground combat. All right. So that being said, let's see what the modifiers are. So we'll go through the defense, the ground combat. And we'll do the Germans. They get +2 because they're German, +2 for the air support. The Allies get a -2 because that's a reduced strength army. But they get a +1 for the ground support. So that means that's a -1. It's not affected by poor weather. There's no terrain. All right. So the Germans are going to have a +4 on their dice, and the Allies are going to have -1. So we're going to roll 2 dice. And we get disaster right out of the gate. Oh my God. My luck is so bad. It really is. Well, it doesn't matter. It's solitaire, right? So basically I rolled a 6 for the Danish, the Dutch. So they get a result of 5. And I rolled a 2 for the Germans, so their result is a 6. So we do a 6 crossed with a 5 is a nothing. So we're going to have to spend 2 more movement points to do that attack again. And this time we're not going to commit the ground support because we can't anyways. And we're going to roll a die to see how many turns this guy gets delayed. So 5 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is okay because I'm not going to get that far anyways. But this is not good. So the Germans now have 3 movement points left. And this will go to a second sortie. So I'm going to fly ground support again. So this time, the Germans will be at +4 again, but the Allies will be at -2. So come on now, let's see what we get. So, rolled a, oh my God. I got to tell you folks, this is just typical Mark. So, rolled a 5, -2 for the Allies, and a 1 + 4. So 5 to 3, so defender retreat. +2, this is complete disaster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it's not going to be complete disaster, but we'll make it work. They can advance. Oh boy, this is just not good. And the reason it's not good, let me show you why. Because even if I attack this guy again, my objective was I wanted to try to get enough movement points to be in the city to drive Denmark out of the war. And I won't be able to do that now with only I'll have 1 movement point left, which means I'll be able to advance, but I need 2 to get into that city. So that being said, Denmark's going to hold out, it looks like. Now, the one advantage I do have is if I stop here, which I'm not going to because I want to attack again, is, and this is going to go to 3 sorties. Just because even though I'm playing this like I'm playing it long term. But at least from the hex I'm in right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means I'll be able to rebase, which will cost me another sortie. But I'll actually be able to at least still attack Oslo. And hopefully I'll roll better because I've rolled a 1 and a 1, or 1 and a 2 so far. Just not good. All right. Well, I don't need to go through the modifiers again. Are going to be +4 for the Germans, -2 for the Allies. And this time we get a 2 for the Allies, which is a 1, and a 6, which is going to go to 10. So that eliminates the Dutch unit. Now this does not lower their willpower because this is a half strength unit. And for now, this will go in the eliminated box. For the Western Allies, I'll advance. And I have 1 movement point left. Really can't do much. You need 2 to enter the city. So that ends the activation for that army. Okay, so my next activation, this will go to 4 sorties. And I'm going to fly the air unit up here to rebase it, get it within range of Oslo. And then we're going to pull out the invasion rules because this is a learn to play video. And I want to show you guys how to do this. Let's see, combat 12. Is that right? Show me invasions. Page 12. Okay. Invasions. Little movement. Let's see. Where is invasions? I know it's here somewhere, dang it. Actions. Alright, let's look at the index. Look under invasions. Let's see. Obviously, it's not naval. Could be. Could be. No. Seaborne. It's not invasions. Amphibious assaults, maybe. Amphibious invasion, page 20. All right. That's helpful. There's a really good, pretty extended rule here. So amphibious invasion. This rule is long, but da-da-da-da-da. Amphibious invasion range. Six 3.2.2 amphibious invasion range. Where is that? The Axis of Soviet can invade a hex in the sea zone containing the activated units. The Western faction can invade a hex within 2 sea zones. Okay. I think you have to do the, let's see, the invasion hex cannot contain friendly ground unit. Yeah. The invasion hex cannot be affected by severe weather. Coastal hex without a port cannot be invaded if that coastal hex and each port hex is adjacent. They share a prohibited movement hex side. Okay. Oh, do I not have to use the thought that I had to use the surprise marker? Maybe not. Let's see. This rule is long. A phasing ground unit can be stacked with a convoy, can activate to invade a coastal hex that contains or is adjacent to a friendly or enemy port within range, this is within range. A friendly port can be invaded, blah, 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 but it can't be occupied. Yes. The sea zone must contain a friendly surprise attack marker. This is why maybe I should have considered doing it in the ring, because there will be a 4-turn delay, and then it costs 20 production points. I was hoping to get it back, but we'll place that in C zone 12, which I have that marker. So that's going to allow an invasion. So I will activate the convoy and the army. That costs me, I think, 4 production points. Let's look. Because remember, when you activate units, well, let's see. At least when you activate armies, it costs production points. How about, no. To recover the sorties is what costs for convoys. So the convoy marker gets 1 sortie. And technically what's happening, see I'm placing the 1 sortie. So now the army is going to go up here and try to invade Oslo directly. Okay. Now we resolve the combat. So let's see what the modifiers are. So we know right off the bat it's a reduced army, so Norway gets a -2. Germans get a +2 because they're German. They get a +2 for the air support. So we'll go to 5 sorties. Remember, if you get to 6, that's it. That's all she wrote. It's going to take a while for this air unit to recover, isn't it? All right. Anyways. So there are 5 sorties. Okay. Let's see. Shock, no. Tank, no. We are going to commit a ground support to the Norwegian Army. I'll give them a +1, means they get a -1 on their die roll. Put that there just to note that. Attacker gets a -1 because you just get a -1. And you get another -1 because of the city. Then I get a +2 because the Germans have a surface action group that they're going to commit. Sorties +1. So they get 1 sortie. That's actually going in with the convoy. And that shows, so I get a +2 for that. So we're at +4. And for the German dice, and a -1 for the, oh boy, this really sucks. Unbelievable. I guess, I don't know, I'm just blowing this, I guess. But they both roll a 6. So that's a 10. Let's see if we get enough to 5. So defender retreat. Okay. So that's actually going to be enough because it's a half strength unit. So has to retreat. This, just for GPs, you roll a die. It's got a little die marker. That's 5 more. Doesn't come back for 5 turns, which means 1, 2, 3, 4 would be October. I almost thought I was going to fail there. So, but here's why we don't. So you land, it's the capital, and let's see here, hang on. When you take a capital, the willpower drops. How far? National will, I think it's 4. Each time its capital becomes enemy controlled, -4. So the Norwegian national will drops to 0. So that's immediately you resolve the conquered country event, which, put that there. This conditional events, 35. And that's where it should be, I believe. Let's look. Conditional events. Observation. Country collapse. It immediately collapses when its will drops to 0, or all of its mainland cities are under enemy control. The country is conquered. 13.2.2. Conquered country. Let's see. Do the following. Remove all the conquered countries' counters from the scenario. And we get the, okay, let's do this in order. So remove all the conquered countries' counters from the scenario. So that's these 2 are going to go away. The production marker is going to come off. And the willpower marker actually will get placed in conquered allied countries. So So Norway is conquered. That's step one. I get to put a friendly pro-faction marker in the diplomacy cup. So that's a pro-axis marker. Goes in the diplomacy cup. So I can select any one neutral country that has an enemy pro-faction or strictly neutral marker in its capital hex and remove it. Well, we're going to remove the one from Madrid because that's pretty imminent danger for the Axis. Select a neutral country that has blah blah blah. Put the conquered country's will in the Axis faction card. Okay, take one German ground unit from its faction conditional box and put in the eliminated box. So we're going to get one of these. Yeah, that's cool. Increase Germany's national will by 2. Okay, so we're going to go from 47 to 49. That's another benefit of conquering something. Okay. And that's it. All right. That was conquered Norway. All right. And that's about all we wanted to accomplish. So we're done. And we go to the Western Allies. And, you know, I'm not set up to send like a French army up there or anything. So, let me look. So these are going to, this is going to go 4 turns later. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the surprise marker. That's because it says 4 turns on it. And then the surface action, sorties +1. So 2 turns later. It'll come back. Now we'll double check the rule for that just to make sure. So that is, I don't know why. The interesting thing is it says sorties +1. I'm trying to think, when would you ever use more than one sortie? I guess you could use it for other things, but let's look. Page 39 is event markers. And I want to look up surface action anytime it could use a surface warship to perform a naval action. The marker is first put in a friendly port. Okay, well, we did it right. You could activate it and use it for stuff till it's done. So I know that's pretty scientific statement stuff, huh? But that's it. All right. So honestly, in May, I mean, I could spend the production. We're going to go ahead and do the diplomacy. Boy, what do we want to do here? So, yeah, you know, see, the Western Allies can't declare war, can't really attack anybody because there's no crisis in the West yet. So we're going to go to the diplomacy, and I don't want to do that. Germans will spend 5 and draw. Heck with it. Heck with it. Let's see what happens. What do we get here? Pro-Western. All right, so that basically removed the pro-Western marker. UK, oh boy, let's see. What do they got in here? They got 2 out of 3, 5. Let's see, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're just going to spend 5 and throw in a pro-Western marker. And the Soviets are going to draw because they have a pretty good shot at getting something. And they get area seized. So that goes back into here, into the holding box. And let's look up area seized. This will answer the question about Bessarabia. So this is working out pretty well as the last turn. And we're 45 minutes in. Okay. So event markers, 39. And you know, honestly, I could continue this series and conquer France and all that good fun stuff, but I think I want to get me another game out. So area seized. When this marker is pulled from the diplomacy cup, so no, Nazi-Soviet pact is still in effect. We haven't done everything. But regardless of who pulled it, select a country with a USSR disputed area that has not been ceded to the USSR and is either neutral or an active Western country. Ooh, so I might have just robbed Bessarabia. Let's keep reading. If no country meets the above criteria, put the area seized marker in the holding box. Okay, yep, I screwed up. Well, I didn't screw up. By actually aligning Romania, I prevented, let's zoom back out so you can see what the hell I'm pointing at. So, by aligning Romania, what I actually didn't realize I did, and this part of, see, I'm learning too, is because Bessarabia hasn't been ceded yet. So a disputed area that has not been ceded to the USSR and is either neutral or an active Western country. So it means none of that. But the Finnish borderlands do. So, and we get to and here's why you want to do this stuff, because it's pro. Okay, so this will be interesting, but here's why you do this. The reason you want these seeded areas, and the last one we have is, let's see, let's just make sure here. What's the 3 we got? We got Karelia, yep. Oh, Estonia. We still haven't got Estonia. So let's grab Estonia instead of the Finnish for right now. So we grab Estonia. This gets put in the ceded area. Soviet national will is going to go from 89 to 91. It goes up by 2. And then you also get an army to put in the eliminated box. And that's how you grow the Soviet army too. So, and then it's Estonia, so that's it. Now, if I had picked the Finnish borderlands, I'd get to put a pro-axis marker. So anyways, that wraps up the May turn. Pretty mixed turn. Rolled pretty badly. I don't know that I'm going to do June 40. I've done a Barbarossa video. I've done, and yes, I had intentions of going on and on with this. But I think I've shown you enough. I've shown you how to do land combats, how diplomacy works, amphibious invasions. But if you're looking for a good, fun, playable European game, I think this should be it. So we'll see what's next on the calendar for Clark Commando 1983. May do squad leader, may do, I don't know, man. I got like 10 million games I want to do for you guys before I die. So, but one at a time. But I think that this is good enough for now. And we'll see what's next in my next video. And it will definitely be Learn to Play After Action Report. Let me see if I get some time later tonight. Maybe put this away and pack it up. Till next time, I really enjoyed it, and I hope you have too. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Bye.